have some action going on. If you guys are joining in from Periscope, and hello Tally, how are you doing? That's Stefan is rolling in. All right, we are live. All right, so if you're joining in from YouTube or Periscope land, please know that I'll be happy to read your comments, but you got to post them because I'm coming at you live through Ustream, so I don't have access to their interface, but I will see your comments if you post them. And you guys on Instagram know that you could post stuff. I will read them out. I want you to join in the conversation. It's more fun that way. Also, if you have questions or comments, you can throw them up there. Also, if you are watching an archive of this later on YouTube, be sure to subscribe, hit like, give me that like, and subscribe to our channel and share with your friends a comment. That helps others find our little show here. All right. So, as you guys know, everyone, I'll give you guys a few more minutes. Charlie has rolled in. Lee Kenton has rolled in. All right. So, we talked yesterday. I don't know if any of you guys followed the insanity that was the Netflix backlash over Cuties. I still don't know really what it's about. Evidently, I watched a few seconds of the trailer, shaking my head. Evidently, it's a French movie, and it has won an award, and they wanted you to know that, and that their picture that they used and their description of the show was wrong. Yeah, it was wrong, and now they're sorry, and they changed it. It's like, I get it. You see, there is a psychological tool called priming. Yeah. And in order to prime people, you get them comfortable with things. You get them comfortable with messaging and ideas, and then you slowly expose them to it more and more, and to see where they are with certain things. And if you're looking to be edgy to make a few extra bucks, then you always got to push the envelope. And, I said this to my buddy. I'm going to say this last thing and then we'll move on because I hate this topic to begin with. And I know some of you also hate it, but it is important. I told my business partner, AJ, yesterday, I said, let's say the best case scenario would be that they were trying to be edgy. They weren't really thinking about it. They only had their thoughts on getting the public's attention to the show, causing controversy so everybody will watch it. That's a very common thing to do in entertainment. Cause as much controversy as possible, and then if anyone gets upset, walk it back. But the most important thing would be clicks, eyeballs, attention, right? And then you can get the public to watch whatever it is because of the controversy that surrounds it. And I said, even if all of this was a ploy to gain attention and controversy so people watch the movie, and it really wasn't the advertising was only set up to be controversial, and the movie wasn't really as bad as their write-up may have seemed. Well, if that's the best case scenario, and that's what I could think is a best case scenario, what do you have to say about a company that would look to cause controversy in such a way that pushing the envelope of 11-year-old girls, preteen girls is okay? So whatever. I've had it with those people. And yesterday on Twitter, I asked our crowd, I said, Why do you own a Netflix account? There's a few reasons why I posted that. Number one was, why? I'm curious. Why do you have a Netflix account? And I also wanted people to examine why they have a Netflix account. Answer me that, so that you have to think about that. Is it really worth it? Do you really derive that much entertainment and value out of it? So a lot of people just parroted back the marketing line, Netflix and chill. Okay, well, not a reason in my book. Then some people said, well, I like this one show on Netflix. I like some shows that are Netflix too. I just pirate them or get them from somewhere else. Someone said, I like the documentaries they have. Okay, well, you can get those elsewhere. And a lot of people said, you know what? I don't know why I have a Netflix account. And after today, I'm canceling it. So good. I hope in my asking of you to tell me why you have a Netflix account, that force you to think about it as well. I don't own one. As you guys know, I find television to be empty calories. It is a McDonald's cheeseburger for when you're hungry. It may fill you up, but it's not nutritious. It's junk food entertainment. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that before I moved on. But yeah, if you guys, it's something to think about. All right, let's say some more hellos. Jared Allen has popped in the room. Hello, how you doing, buddy? Egan of Florida has come in. Lee Kenton has joined us. The Gabriel Wynn has joined us. I hope I pronounced that right. And Amantog has joined us. Welcome, everybody, and Siddharth. Once again, if you're joining us in YouTube or Periscope land, be sure to comment. That's the only way that I know that you're there, as I'm coming at you live through restreaming, and I don't have the user interface of YouTube or Periscope in front of me. Nicole, how are you doing today? All right, so here's the topic that I wanted to discuss today, and I briefed on this yesterday. And once again, I'm only giving you my own observations, experience, and emotions, and how I feel about things. But I would like to know your thoughts on this. As you guys know, I'm 46 years old, and the topic that I wanted to discuss today is when that cross section where politics and pop culture mix. And to me, it mixes like oil and water. They don't. In fact, they should be separated, because the desired effect, at least on me, and please, I'd love to hear what you guys think. The effect on me is repulsion. It makes me sick. It makes me want to turn it off immediately. I feel, because there is an appreciation. So here's the thing. As an artist, I have an appreciation for the performing arts, no matter what they might be. Maybe it's dancing, maybe it's music, acting, poetry, playwright, poetry reading, any of this music, right? Especially music, because I am a musician. So there is an appreciation that I have for people who are in the performing arts and put time and effort into creating, because it's brutal, it's rough. Why? Because everyone's a critic, and everyone can tell you whether or not they like your stuff or not. And if you put a lot of effort into it, regardless of what everybody says, it sucks when people don't appreciate stuff that you've put your heart and soul into. And everyone has an opinion, and learning how to deal with that criticism is really hard for an artist. it's difficult. There are so many people who like to blast out on social media or show this tough skin that they don't care, or the thoughts of others and their work that they've put so much effort into, that it's water off a duck's back. Now, I'm not saying that can't happen. What I'm saying is that it takes time and effort to feel confident in the work that you put out, and to be able to be bulletproof enough that you would allow criticisms of that work to roll off your back, to not affect you to a high degree. In fact, even when I do these silly videos every day, when I get people who make fun of my hair or call me names on social media for putting in effort and work in my opinions and thoughts that I care about, it still has a negative effect. Granted, I've been doing it long enough where I can laugh about it, but to imagine having thousands of fans and you're just scrolling through tons and tons of negative comments that are designed to try to find your triggers, to try to find where you're sensitive and then exploit those weaknesses. It's awful. Now, what does this have to do with politics? I will tell you. Because I have such an appreciation for the performing arts, and I also participate in it, I have an understanding of it. When you mix politics with the performing arts, I feel betrayed, because I feel like I'm trying to find the right word. I feel like you're exploiting my kinship with these artists. I feel that you are taking advantage of my appreciation for the performing arts by now using that appreciation that I have for those people and the skills that they have built and the work that they've put out there as an opportunity to gain my sympathies for your political gain. And I got to tell you, I find that incredibly rude. Now, let's talk about when I was younger, when I first noticed this. Politics and pop culture has always, at least in my mind, have always flirted with each other, but they've never been in such cahoots until as of lately. And because I study marketing and psychology and philosophy, all of these things have a central share where they overlap. And so, to me, those three things need to be compartmentalized in certain aspects. I don't like when they mix together because they mix with my emotions. And like what Big Worm said on Friday, when you're playing with my emotions, you're playing with my money. I don't like when people play with my emotions, because I find it to be a underhanded tactic. I am well aware of my emotions because I practice mindfulness, because I study psychology. I understand philosophy. I've been working in this field for close to 20 years. So when those levers get pulled, and they get pulled for somebody's agenda, which politics is, right or left, I get a little bit annoyed. That's why when I'm talking to you guys every morning, I always seem a little bit angry about this topic. So those two factions, politics and pop culture, they've always flirted with each other. They've always had a wink and a nod. Obviously, your favorite artists have temperaments and political leanings, and they would like to do their side a favor. And I fine, that's okay. I get it. It's just when they become so intertwined that you cannot pull them apart where I have a problem. Because let's face it, pop culture, icons, celebrities have a lot of emotional power. Young people look up to celebrity culture and look up to these people as a means to grow. And I'll get there, Tally. So there's a lot of these emotions attached to these people who are so tightly wrapped with these agendas. Eric John says, keep artists and their politics separate. I agree, my friend. So anyway, I posted this tweet yesterday that basically stated that maybe, the Democratic Party, and in the convention this week, they have most of the celebrities and pop culture icons by the balls. I don't know if they're in bed together financially, but in entertainment, it is no secret that it leans left. Fine. Okay. Everyone has their political, temperamental leanings. So when the convention happens for the last few elections, they trot out this star-studded, celebrity-dripped event with all these people. And of course, I pointed out yesterday, we have Billie Eilish telling everyone that Donald Trump's going to burn the world down and Joe Biden is the savior and you got to do it. And then we have Cardi B, who has progressed stripper culture into celebrity culture. And she's talking to Joe Biden and blah, 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 blah. Ronald Denise says, politics are being shoehorned in every facet of life. You gotta get them while they're young. It is disgusting, Ronald. And that's what I'm talking about. So anyway, I posted this out and I said, I think the Democratic Party, I think they think that this swings people into their political leanings by trotting out these celebrities. But to me, and maybe this is just to me, you guys let me know. Tell me how you feel. When I see that, it has the exact opposite effect of bringing me into their way of thinking. When I see that, it upsets me. Listen, I am Steph C. They're all the same. They'll all use what they have at their disposal because all is fair in love and war, as they say. Ronald says he appreciates me addressing this. Well, thank you, Ronald. I try to do this from a very nonpartisan stance as well because I hate politics in general. So I wrote that I felt that it had the desired opposite effect. It pushes me away from their agenda and it makes me angry at them because I feel like they're using my emotional ties to music and performing arts as a way to manipulate me in using my emotions to fall in line. Now, I get it. That's the psychology of it. And then, so I posted that, and then somebody returned, and here's what I wanted to discuss. He said, well, what about Bill Clinton going on MTV in the, what was that, late 80s or early 90s, and playing his saxophone? Do you not think that helped him win? That was the question I got. So let me tell you the difference between Bill Clinton playing his saxophone on MTV and then Billie Eilish being on the Democratic convention. You see, there are two fields of play there. One is home field advantage, the Democratic National Convention. That's their rah-rah pep rally. MTV was supposed to be a nonpartisan place. Granted, we all know who they supported. We all know Rock the Vote and all those initiatives were left-leaning, but they never came out one way or another, but you kind of knew who they supported. But my point being that Bill Clinton going on the MTV it had the optics of your dad coming into your slumber party or your birthday party where you're hanging out with all your friends as a teenager, because that's what MTV was, a place where you're hanging out with all your friends as a teenager back in the day. And it was like Bill Clinton coming into your slumber party where your friends are and telling dad jokes, trying to be cool. And we all had a laugh. And we thought of it like, that's kind of like the old dad trying to be cool. Ha, ha, ha. Now get off my MTV so I can watch more music videos. You see how that's different? Where one is this, we are over here supporting, where the other one is, hey, can I have your vote? I'm cool too. I'm Bill Clinton. Look at me play saxophone on MTV. So to me, those are two completely different optics. They mean two completely different things. Now, I would love to hear what you guys think. It's just something that I wanted to point out. And so the last two election cycles with these Democratic conventions and these star-studded celebrity affairs, as if it's almost like a night at the Oscars, that's why that angers me when I see this, because of the emotions that are being played. I find it is a very underhanded and dirty trick. Now, as Ron says that our politics now are being slammed down our throats in every facet of life. True, I agree. This is why it angers me, because I find it underhanded. I find it a bit sneaky because young kids don't know what the difference is. But as I said, as a teenager, when I saw Bill Clinton play a saxophone on my MTV, because that's the way we felt about it as teenagers, because it was new. It was the young people's channel. It was speaking directly towards us. It was like, get out of here, Dad. You're embarrassing us. Can you beat it now? Thanks, Dad. You can leave. We're good. And he's out of there. But now the culture and these people, I just feel like they're dragging these kids in. Ronald says Cardi B, the B ain't no brain. Yeah, that's for sure. Republicans do the same thing, without a doubt. All these people do the same thing. I've interviewed political marketers on the Art of Charm podcast. We've talked about this, but I do feel that a line has been crossed in the last maybe decade where there's just no sanctity, where like nothing is off limits, and it drives me nuts. And it is that sort of behavior that is kind of antithetical to how I live. So like for instance, let's take Hillary Clinton's campaign. She lost, okay? So when you lose, you don't blame you don't hate the winners. You don't blame the people who did it well. Be reflective to see how you can do it better. What could you have done better? Lindsay says those ads are for liberals. Yeah, I mean, it's silly. So, because this behavior is so acceptable now, where if you lose or you don't get what you don't get things your way, that you demonize the people who have earned it, who have won, who did do better. That's antithetical to how I live my life and self-development. If you come up short, it is better for you to figure out how you can be better, how you can learn. What areas can you develop to strengthen? Not just start hacking away and throwing rocks at the people who won. And let's face it, politics is a dirty, dirty game. And because it's a dirty game, it's antithetical to my thought processes, my development, how I view self-development, my own personal philosophies of growth. So it's just annoying. So Lindsay says they know that they're not getting the vote of people who don't like Billie Eilish. That's the thing. The Democratic convention, as I mentioned this earlier, to me, I don't think it's where they win votes over. I see it as where they excite their base. So the red meat to their base is the celebrity culture, I guess. I haven't thought that well through. I Am Steph says growth mindset is key, but so many people have close mindsets. 100%, I Am Steph. And let's state why. Because it's easier to tear things down than it is to build things up. And if you have a growth mindset, you focused it on building. You focused it on strengthening. You focused it on maintaining what's already there. There's almost a philosophical, to be in a self-development, you need ideals and sound philosophical ideas from both sides. Open-mindedness, to learn and to discover, which is philosophically liberal ideals, which are great, and building and conserving what's already there and what's already working, which is the right side, which is the ideals of conservatism, and held to their truths are wonderful. And together, they're supposed to be able to build what's never been seen before. But if they're just slinging rocks at each other, well, then we cannot discuss things, and we cannot build things, and we can't become wiser, because we're not looking to be better. We're looking to put our efforts in tearing down the other side. Somebody was like, well, who are you voting for? And I told you guys, I'm voting for the side that identifies with my ideals. And as I move forward as we all move forward in history, that's going to change, because how I felt as a young man in my 20s about who shared my ideals is much more different than who I feel shares my ideals now. And I will also tell you, it is the side that I feel is attempting to run a more upstanding political campaign, as difficult as that may seem. But I hold both sides up critically. And yes, I talked a lot of crap on the DNC this week because they were having their convention. It was too laughable. And guess what? I'll do the same for the RNC as well. I mean, but I'll tell you what, they don't have much of a star-studded lineup. What was it? I had Julie Maurice-Dreyfus was on yesterday. We had Billie Eilish and Cardi B, and I don't know who the hell else, because I couldn't bring myself to waste my time and the brain cells that I had. I'd rather destroy brain cells through having some beers and getting hammered than watching that. Eric John says, Ted Nugent. Yeah, well, that's what I'm laughing about. Scott Baio, Ted Nugent, these are old school people. They are performers, but they are not. Here, the difference between the two is there are those who hold the pop culture right now and those who have held pop culture of yesteryear. Scott Baio and Ted Nugent are definitely from yesteryear. I love Scott Baio. That's what I'm saying. Do you ever get the Austin Powers compliment? You got that mofo. Well, I'll take it, but I do. I get it all the time. We have a lot of fun with that here. But you have to understand that the Austin Powers look comes from 60s English mod culture, which was the direct descendant of the 50s motorcycle rocker culture of the Brits. Together, you get what you see right here, right, Animal? It's an homage to all my heroes. All right. Yeah, they're not in the limelight. They're over that, right? So that I don't feel that they have that strong of connection to that. But the thing about it is, politics is dirty. It is ugly. I hate it for those very reasons. And because of the way they go about it is focusing and drawing on people's emotions and temperament, it gets a little nauseating at times. And I can tell you over the last couple election cycles, they have gotten longer and dirtier tricks are being played. Anyway, I got to go. It's 9:03. You guys are awesome. Let me know what you think. You can always write me if you enjoyed what I had to talk about today and you want to learn more about emotions and persuasion and networking. Well, check out the Art of Charm Communication Accelerator. It is in our link tree. It is in our bio. You can find it on our website. It is all the best bits from our online classes and live training programs and expert guests over the last 15 years. And it's super fun, and it arms you to the teeth with social skills and conversational understandings and influential bits in the human psyche that will really help you build a better you in business, love, and life. Okay, guys, I got to head out. I hope you all have a great weekend. Next week's going to be a little crazy as I'm moving to Vegas. Yeah, even bringing an Animal with me. He's pretty excited. But we'll see how it goes. This is episode 91. We're almost at 100, guys.